So the United States currently accounts for about 15% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Yes. China accounts for roughly 30% of greenhouse gas emissions. How do we, even if we get to net zero, how do you get China, India, and the other countries to be good partners?
China is doing a lot. Yes, they're still building a bunch of coal-fired power plants.
And they're still burning coal.
Yes, they are. But they are now moving plants away from the cities. The Communist Party wants to stay in power in China, and they listen to the public. When the public says, I can't breathe the air, Xi Jinping is not a dictator. He has to satisfy his constituents, or he's not going to survive.
He's not a dictator?
No, he has to. He has a constituency to answer to.
He doesn't have a vote. He doesn't have a democracy. He doesn't.
That
he's
doesn't
not held
mean he can
accountable by
survive
voters.
if his advisors gave him.
Is the check on him just a revolution?
You're not going to have a revolution. No government survives without the will of the majority of its people. Okay? It's just, he has to deliver services. The Chinese Communist Party looks at Russia, and they look for where the Communist Party is, and they don't find it anymore, and they don't want that to happen.
I mean, the idea that the Chinese government is responsive to sort of a democratic expression of fresh air,
come on,
clean
of course they are.
I mean, I'm looking at the people in Hong Kong who are
go
protesting and wondering whether the Chinese government cares what they have to say.
Go back and read the press, the days when you have big pollution in Beijing, and they're doing something about it. That's ridiculous. The trouble is you can't overnight move cement plants and power plants just outside the city that are polluting the air, and you have to have their product. So some of it takes time. And there's always in government, even governments that aren't what we would call a democracy, there's lots of stakeholders who have vested interests, and they have an impact. And that's why if you listen to the young millennials, let's go in and solve the problem overnight. Yeah, that would be great if you didn't have to fund it and get it through legal things.